Hi everyone, I'm Melissa Ryerson. I'm the Communications Manager with the City of Franklin, and I'm here with Assistant Fire Chief Glenn Johnson, who is also the Incident Command at the Pilgrimage Music and Cultural Festival. Now, we've done a lot of things this year from last year to update our safety procedures and improve communications with citizens. Glenn, first, before we get to that, talk about what is an incident commander at a festival like this?
Well, basically, what the incident commander does is coordinate all activities within the festival, working with our resources that we have, our city staff from the various departments, in order to have a safe festival. Ensure we identify any kind of hazards and address those as we go.
All right, now we know last year kind of was a little bit of a letdown, so to speak. We did have some bad weather and some evacuations. What are the top 3 or 4 things we've done to improve this year?
One of the things that we've done is we've increased the amount of public safety and city staff for the festival. These additional resources are going to be used throughout the festival grounds in order to help facilitate any of the attendees during an evacuation or during normal activities. Our city staff will be clearly identified and are there to answer any questions if they arise. In the event there is an evacuation, our city staff as well as our public safety personnel are going to be strategically placed within the footprint in order to help guide the attendees out of the park and direct them to the various shelters that we have identified.
All right, now this is a time when you can write down if you're going to the festival and there might be an evacuation. We have some shelters identified, and let's talk about those.
Okay, the shelters we have this year are the First United Methodist Church at Franklin Road in Macatcher, the factory, which is directly across the street from the festival, Liberty Elementary on Liberty Pike, as well as City Hall in downtown Franklin.
All right, and I know last year sometime at the factory there may not have been a staff person there to let people know when the festival was going to start again or may not start again. We will have staff, and Pilgrimage will have staff at all of these locations, correct?
Yes, in order to keep the public and the attendees up to date on what's going on and the status of the festival, they will receive regular updates at the shelter locations to ensure that everybody is properly informed on the status and what actions they need to take or not to take.
All right, and I know last year the Wi-Fi was kind of iffy. I know Pilgrimage has told us that they're boosting the Wi-Fi this year. Is that correct?
Yes, Pilgrimage is boosting the Wi-Fi. We actually already have one booster on site currently. But in the event the connectivity does lack, we have partnered with WAKM 950 in order to help get the message out to the people in our community as well as those that are on the festival grounds.
Right, because if you do park on festival grounds in a car and there is bad weather, we ask people to go to their cars to shelter in place, and then they can turn on the radio to find out the latest, right?
That's correct. We are trying to use all of our social media outlets to get to those and keep them informed, but in the event that social media or our Wi-Fi connections aren't up, then we have our AM radio that can transmit the message.
All right, and there is a text alert. You can text Pilgrimage to 888-777 if you'd like to get a text alert during the festival. All right, thank you, Glenn. And now we're going to talk about something that goes with the app, the Pilgrimage app, with one of our staffers, and I'll meet you over there, okay? All right, we're over here to talk about a really neat new thing that's happening with the Pilgrimage app. So if you're going to the festival, please download the Pilgrimage app and also enable your location, because if there was an emergency and you needed help, you can just push a button on the app and get help. And here to tell us about it is Andrew Southern. He's with our IT department and our GAS. He makes maps, and he's been working with Pilgrimage. And tell us about it. This is what people see if they use their location, use their app, and this is the first screen that they see. Tell us about it, Andrew.
That's right, Melissa. So basically what this will be is just an application stored or embedded within the Pilgrimage application. And in the case of a medical or fire incident, the attendees would be able to just select a button and fill out a couple just real quick questions. If it's a medical incident, your age, your gender, and then the location is automatically captured. And this data is then transmitted back to a central location on this dashboard.
That is super handy. So it's really easy for a citizen attending the festival. They push that alert on their app, and then this is what we see, an incident command, and we'll know where the emergency is happening and what personnel to send to the scene. So this is an example here. Andrew, talk about that.
Yeah, so here we have a test call where basically the description of the call is an abdominal pain. It's a medical call. The assigned unit would be CART 1. So CART 1 would be notified via radio to respond to that call. And the additional details as far as call dispatch time, call receive time, on-scene time, all the typical details that are captured in a normal 911 call would be logged.
All right, so we have personnel and supplies throughout the whole festival site, and we're ready to respond if there's an emergency. Well, that is really great. Thank you for working with Pilgrimage on that.
Of course.
We're so lucky to have people like Andrew and Glenn Johnson, and we're keeping you safe, Franklin.